Happy hearts have harmony. Happy hearts have harmony.
Being spiritual and not religious drew us to scichic.com and its dating section linked in the footer.
It's a new launch, and we want you to register in hopes that you find a lover, partner, and a friend beyond a traditional introduction, breaking views of cultural perception.
Tell your friends now.
Hello, hello. It's the Robin Zodiac Show. We've got my favorite Mr. Sweet.
Hello.
Hello. How
This
was
is
your
Joffrey.
week,
My
Mr.
week
Sweet?
was pretty good. It was, actually though, with all these psychics and
You
spiritual,
psychics.
you psychic and spiritual people. No, something has been in the air.
Yes.
It's been very heavy. I don't know what it is, but it's been very, very heavy. Like people that are dramatic are way dramatic, and the people that usually are not dramatic are dramatic, and just crazy stuff happening.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens tonight.
I know. I
Yes,
know.
I don't know where I am, but I know that when I'm
You're
on
right
the
there.
show. Oh, am I? Hey, touch me.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. But I know that this is something that really I look forward to, especially to come in and see my Mr. Sweet.
It makes me a little happy.
Oh, I love you. I love you.
Love
so
you too.
tonight we have another wonderful interview with one of my besties. I didn't say busty. I said bestie.
Bestie.
Yes. Who is coming into the show. It's Friday the 13th, and I would like to introduce a very popular, famous, well-renowned Liz Pressman. Hello, my dear. Hi, TGIF 13.
Hey. Yeah, what is
Yes.
this, like the fourth one this year?
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this has been a
or
crazy
the
year.
third one or something. Yeah, we're on a Friday the 13th cycle here.
Yeah, so I went to a birthday party last night. I have celebrated 2 Libras, and then last week there was like 5 or 6 of my acquaintances, friends, buddies that are Libras. So I realized that I'm surrounded by Libras. I never really thought about it, and yeah, so it's the 13th, and
That's an inconjunct, by the way, with Pisces. That's 150-degree angle. So it's sort of like an indication of like past life stuff with somebody.
Oh,
So that's
really?
probably why you dig Libras so much.
Yeah. Well, and I have a lot of Aquarius, so you're a Gemini. I seem to really dwell. I seem to really, what do you say? Gel. There we go. See, I told you it's one of those nights. I'm glad you're on. With air signs, so. But, yeah, I've been feeling a lot like a Pisces lately. I have to tell you, I've been on my pity pot, and you've been hearing from me a lot because I always call you, and I'm on a Pisces pity pot. Yes.
Well, yeah. You guys are very emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is I get furious, and that's the only way I can express myself. I have a Scorpio moon, so I know I have it in me to be vindictive, and I learned from a very young age to turn that into the Phoenix energy, and just to rise above. And yeah, I think a lot of crazy thoughts. I would never act on it because I know that it'll just go away, and I'm actually hurting myself if I dwell on it too much, as a Scorpio does, stings themselves. So, and then I have Cancer rising. Thank God I don't have any planets in Cancer, but I've got Cancer rising. And yeah, so the thing I know about the Friday the 13th is that it was the King Constantine who became Christian, and all his accountants were called the Knights of the Templar. And on Friday the 13th, he ordered them all to be killed, but some of them had snuck out with the Knights of the Templar gold, and they hid it in Malta. So it's Friday the 13th was actually, from what I know, that's one story. I know there must be many. I was wondering if you knew of any others.
Well, I mean, 13 is a witch number, and so it's made into something scary because, because it's to scare people away from the craft, I think, because witchcraft or Wicca is a lunar centric religion, and so 13 moons in a year, 13 people in a coven, so it's a good number for us.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite number.
It's a cyclical number,
and they don't put they don't put a 13th floor in buildings. Did you know that? There's no 13th
some
floor.
Do in New York. I've been in buildings
really?
where there's a 13th floor. Yeah, it's always very exciting.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, no, 13 is, when I went on safari, I stayed on the 13th, and I stayed in the room. It was 13. Yeah, I always get excited when I see the number 13. I know it's a good number. It's a very good number. It's a power number. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's 13 moons. Yeah, 13 moons. So it's a goddess number.
Yeah, of course. That's why they try to hide it away. So talking about goddess energy, I usually just go about my business, and, a lot of times I do get, hoots and hollers, on the street. And I always reply, just throw money. And that really shuts them up, But today I was going to the gym, and this guy was like, he was like as tall as my chest, and he was just saying how beautiful I was and how I looked like a movie star. And then I thought, what is this? The reincarnation of Harvey, what's his name?
Weinstein.
That's
Weinstein.
it. That's
I knew you
He's
were
whining.
Going
He's whining.
This is where you were going.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to know what your psychic intuition is, because everybody says, oh, we're going to be empowered now. And then I ran into this midget, and he was like trying to hit on me. And he's like, are you going to be back? No. Well, you know what? It's Friday 13th.
Okay.
So let me off the hook. No, it's just like, I just thought, gosh, he's really coming on to me, and nobody ever comes on to me. And then I thought, I wonder if that has anything to do with everything in the media. Like, that's the way powerful men act, like there's a double-edged sword to everything. There's two sides to everything. I always say, people aren't all bad and people aren't all good. It's the way, and you work in the media, and I love you, and no matter what, but you've heard me, fill your ear up about how the media is just like mind control, brainwashing. I wasn't raised watching TV or listening to radio or music. So, to me, I just, like, a lot of times I can't even watch news stories because I tap into it too much, and the energy. So what do you think? Do you think that this is going to empower women, or is it going to alienate us from getting hired because everybody's afraid that, we could, because I dated a very, very powerful movie producer, and the reason our relationship went down was his assistant said that she was sexually harassed because a pen this is what he told me, and I do believe him because I don't usually date weirdos. A pen rolled off the table onto. Did we lose the Liz?
We did.
We did. She's going to call back.
She'll call back, yeah.
So, and he picked the pen up from her lap, and then she screamed sexual harassment.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was the pen or me. So, you know.
What a nice pen you have.
Yeah, but, you know, it made his life a monster mess, and it was really hard for him to, he just wanted to hide away, and I think he was scared of every woman, including me. He had no reason to be, but anyway. So that happened, and he went off to work with a very powerful another producer, but yeah, it was very damaging, you know.
I bet.
Yeah, so did we lose Liz?
We lost her. She's back. I
She's
think
back?
she just has to reconnect again.
Okay, I can text her and see. I hope it wasn't that I was going
Something
down.
you said? No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. It's always something I say. But no, you know, once again,
There she is.
she is. Okay, Liz. All right. Can I hear you? Okay, I can't hear you. We have to do the microphone.
You're
thing
right.
again.
You have to fix the microphone again.
There you go. There you go.
Ding dong. That's what people call me. Hello? Ding dong.
There you are.
Yeah.
There you are. So anyway, I was telling my story, which is over now. I'll tell you later.
It was good.
Somebody was hitting on you in the gym.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, you're going to be back tomorrow. I'm like, no. Go away. But yeah, so what do you think? Do you think that men are going to feel like this is normal behavior now? Do you think that women are going to be alienated from jobs because they could, you know, flash a lawsuit, or, you know, once again, you know how media goes in waves? I know with the psychic world, like I used to get like 2 to 3 calls to audition for psychic shows like all these years in a row, and then it went flat. I don't know. It's because I got older, or it's because I never signed the releases after filming. But I don't know. It just seems like things come in waves, you know. So do you think this whole sexual harassment coming to light was a good thing, a bad thing, or are you indifferent about it? What's your opinion?
No, I'm for any woman who speaks out when it comes to sexual predators of any kind. And he sounds, you know, from the tons and tons of stories from women who he was beyond sexually harassing them. He was, you know, forcing them to, I don't know what I can say on TV or
No,
not,
say it.
but,
No,
you know.
this is fine. You can say the F word.
Yeah.
I was going to tell my story about Harvey, but I turned it around. I harassed him. Never worked again, but I gave it to him good. And then everybody was calling me cowboy, if you know what I mean, Mr. Sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. You got the visual.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, you know, you're healthier than a lot of women. You know, we don't all have that immediate instinct, you know. And plus, you know, this was one incident. It happened one time to you. He was very persistent with other women. And, you know, so I think, yeah, I mean, I'm for all of the women. I find them incredibly brave to come forward and speak out about what he did. I mean, to me, some of the stories constitute rape, you know, so, you know, so we'll see where it goes. You know, we don't know yet. We don't know where it's going to go. And, yeah, I think women are, you know, tired of being objectified. But this goes beyond being objectified. They don't want to be forced to have sex to keep their jobs. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah,
you know?
especially with somebody that's yucky. I mean, I mean, if he was good looking, yeah. You know, if it's a hand job or, you know, otherwise, if it's not the actual deed, then I probably wouldn't remember. So
Yeah, but it's one thing when it's consensual, and with these women they were saying no, 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 and he was like, yeah, you know, you want it, you know. And yeah, I mean, you know, forcing your dick down somebody's mouth you know, and is constitutes rape, you know. I mean, when somebody's saying no and you're doing it.
did you know in California that you have to give consent on every different position that you do? Can I do it to you this way? Well, maybe. Okay. No, it's true. And did you know that there's no statute of limitation in California? So all those ladies out there, if they had an experience in California, there's some inside information. Yeah, there's no statute of limitation in California for rape. You're laughing. Did you freeze up? Did I freeze her up?
I think you froze her up.
Oh, my goodness. She's laughing.
At least it caught her in a good.
Okay. Okay, let me text her. Get her back. Get her back.
She must be having some internet issues.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. We'll get into
Yeah,
that.
he is kind of a gross man. I mean, it doesn't make a difference if he was a good-looking man, but it's like, well,
I know.
And
you
his
wouldn't
wife,
do him.
and then no, God no. But his wife is gorgeous.
I know.
Oh my! I'm like, why would you even want to? I make you have like the most beautiful wife. But it shows you that it's power. It's power, and it's yeah, it's really what it is.
Yeah.
Did you see the Jane Fonda? What she said today?
No.
That she was being interviewed, and she said she found out a year ago from one of the actresses that came forward, and said she actually felt guilty for not speaking out then. But she goes, you know, it wasn't me, so I didn't think it was my place. But she said that, said he wasn't a nice man, period. I mean, even behind the scenes, he was not nice to people that he wasn't even attracted to. He just was not a nice person.
Well, you know, I learned a long time ago when Liz called me healthy, which is very much a compliment. Liz, you called me healthy. The mic again. We need a little ding. There you are. Okay. You know, I really appreciate you calling me healthy because I think I'm a hot mess most of the time. I think that I'm healthier when I'm doing readings than when I'm not, like when I'm engaging in others. And I feel it's my form of escapism and entertainment. And sometimes not coping at the time is a good way for me, you know, to kind of shelf it and think about it later or never think about it again. You know, so that's how I deal with it. But, yeah, we were just saying that Harv, can we call him Harv since everybody knows what he is? His wife is gorgeous. I mean, what an amazing, beautiful woman. Oh,
your mic's still not on. Your mic's still not on.
Oh, yeah. No,
there you go.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Sorry
And I have to tell you, I feel really bad for those kids. I hope they get into some counseling because, you know, children identify with their parents before anybody else, you know, so that's a tough role, you know, that she has to raise these kids and, you know.
I don't know. I mean, kids are resilient. I mean, I was raised in kind of a wild and crazy home, and look at me. Well.
Yeah, you're still wild and crazy, but you're always happy. You know, I love your giggle. This is why I call. You're amazing.
Yeah. So, anyways, you know, I mean, like, not just psychically, but astrologically speaking, you know, we had that transit of Venus. I don't know, like 7 years ago or something. Wait, what was it? I was like, anyways. About 7 years ago, where Venus went in front of the sun. And everybody knew, like astrologers knew, that women were really going to step into their power over the next 10, 20 years. Because the last time that happened, you know, the whole suffragette movement happened. And, you know, so maybe this is what we're seeing is that, you know, a kind of like the goddess incarnate taking her place in the world, and women being able to set boundaries and when they say no, and speaking out when powerful men don't take no for an answer. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very encouraging that so many famous women came forward. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. They probably all want their Social Security trust back now. Give it back. That's what he wanted from me. He was very persistent. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think sex addiction, and so does Emma Thompson. You know, she also said that that it was very predatory kind of behavior.
really.
So yeah, so I hope that I hope things change. You know,
No,
I hope this continues.
I worked in the entertainment industry for 20 years or whatever. That was my main gig, and then I became a mom and switched to this. So I had always done readings for, my coworkers and things like that, but I worked for this one producer. I see his name now, so I think he's independent, but anyway, we used to always have our 3:00 tea.
Ew.
And he would tell me, we would talk about sex. And I'm sure a lot of it was BS. We'd sit there, drink our tea about how we picked up on strangers and where we went and what happened. And every 3:00, we'd sit there for, I'm giving an indication with the tea of, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved, of course we never touched each other or hit on each other, but we would talk about our escapades. And like I said, I'm sure a lot of it was just made up, but it was fun. It was a good 15 minutes out of the work day.
There's a difference
I
between
know.
that.
That's
and,
what I'm trying to say.
You were enjoying yourself. These women were not enjoying
that's what I'm
themselves.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not all bad,
Guy,
yeah, exactly.
making them give him massages while he jerked off. Ew.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that before. Been there, done that.
Robin, you're too funny.
It's true. No,
Anyway.
but I did have I've had situations. I just wanted to mention one horrific experience. I'm walking my dog, and next thing I know is I feel a penis in my back. This big hard penis in my back, and this guy grabs me. I'm like, ooh, baby, give it to me more, and he dropped me, and I threw my Snapple or whatever it was at him, and it smashed or whatever, and then called the police. I'm like, oh my gosh, this just happened. And the police were gonna get me in trouble for assaulting him. So that's how it played out. So I didn't do anything, but I was pretty upset. But I don't believe that kicking a man's ass is going to. Are you listening to me? Oh, her computer is messed up again. So I don't think kicking a man's ass is going to get you anywhere, No. So I totally believe the opposite. Like I
Unless
said,
you're defending yourself.
Well, you can defend yourself with words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, when a situation like comes your way and you're in shock value, like Liz said, a lot of women are, what do I do? Me, I just use my sense of humor, or I give it back to him.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got. That's all I got.
No,
I
that's
fight
what you
with
say
a
to
sense of
him.
humor.
You're like,
That's
"Oh
my,
my God,
that's
that's
my
all you got."
husband.
Yeah.
We laugh at each other. We get all, and then the next thing we know, we're like, you look silly too. That's how we get through it.
Yeah.
And if you talk to couples, they always have to use their sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So is she going to call in again, or?
Wait, I'm sure she will.
I hope so. She says
Good conversation.
Well, I think so,
There
but
she
I'm
is.
wondering. Okay, there she is. Please call back. Okay.
Please.
Please.
PW, please.
There you are. Okay, can we hear you? There we go. Okay. There we go.
Sorry.
That's okay. In
My
the
computer sucks. Sorry.
well, the Maya calendar also was 13 months and 10, and then the day at a time Cosmic Day is July 25th, I think, or July 25th, Cosmic Day, right? The day at a time in the Maya calendar. And so once again, the Maya calendar ended on December 22nd, 2012.
2012. Yeah.
Right. And I know that I was asked a lot, in interviews or, I I did a show before then, we talked about it, leading. I mean, everybody was like, what do you think it's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And I said, everybody's going to be psychic. And they're like, oh, I like that prediction. That's cool. So, and I've even noticed here, like last week, how people are really coming into their own psyche, and how people are being more honest and truthful, So I think it's, and every time like the truth comes out, the enlightenment, it does take time to process it. I know that, Quentin Tarantino mentioned, I need a moment to process this, a lot of people, it's like a shock to the psyche. It's not just the act of it. It's like, when it's happening, it's like, oh my God, what am I seeing, But, so enough about that. So you really do think that we're coming into an empowerment for women. And also the Fearless Girl was put up on Wall Street right in front of the charging bull.
Oh, yeah.
And they were only going to have her up for a while, and then they kept her, and they kept her up, So, and then the 11th was International Girl Day, which was my suggestion, but I wanted it on the 13th, but they did it on the 11th. So, so it's the 13th, and we got Halloween coming up, and your High Priestess, Wiccan.
Samhain, yeah.
Yeah. Siam is what I say. What do you say?
No, Samhain, yeah. It's the Gaelic pronunciation. It's spelled Samhain, so some people think it's Samhain, but it's Samhain.
Yeah, my girlfriend named her dog that, so I always called
Samhain?
her
Samhain.
What does that
like
mean?
Pig, like sow.
Oh, Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then when?
Oh.
And then November
Samhain.
1st is All Souls Day.
Right.
So,
Or
and
the day after Samhain.
I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I love it because, people dress up in costumes and they're all engaging and happy and, they, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you going to dress
up?
I want to see you in a diaper.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Rare. Dirty diaper? Or no, I'm just kidding.
I always dress up the same every year, and I always win the contest. I mean, can I give you a little bit of an indication? So, do you always dress up like a witch, Liz, or?
Oh, very funny.
Yeah.
Every day.
I know.
That's not a costume. So yeah, I'm going to a witch's ball on the 27th up in Western Massachusetts, and
wow, are you taking a train this year? I know you went last year, right? You took the train.
No, the bus,
wow.
And then my friends pick me up in Albany, and then we'll drive up to the witch's ball, and a bunch of witches are contributing to the ball by doing readings. So we're going to go from table to table and do readings.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and so we're supposed to dress like something that we want to manifest.
Oh, wonderful.
So because Samhain's the new year. Samhain in Gaelic means summer's end. So that's our new year. So what do we want to bring in? So I'm thinking of being an oracle.
Oh, wonderful!
So
Matrix is my favorite. Matrix is my favorite movie. They had an oracle in it. Yeah. Well, how are you going to do that? Do you have any ideas or?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Probably just wear the kind of like gown that they wear, and carry some of the things that they used to get high off of.
Oh, cool.
So the branches.
Cool.
Trees, stuff like that.
Cool.
But I'll see. I might dress as one of the spirits on my head. So to be more like her. I have the spirit who's very good to sex workers, and I enjoy working with sex workers.
No, me too.
So I might dress as her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Pumbajir da Nuite.
That's great. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now you have me thinking about what I want to be for Halloween. What do I want to bring in the new year?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, an attorney, but I would need a penis hat for that.
Yeah.
Or a penis nose, whichever one I can find in the store.
You should be a goddess or a queen of some kind.
I already am, but nobody else
Oh,
knows
right.
that.
Every
Except
day.
Putin.
Every day.
He's on
that's
board
not a
with me.
costume. Not a costume. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. You know, I love going to witches' balls.
I know, it's my favorite holiday. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, most witches' balls, you know, Wiccans and witches dress in their regalia, you know, like all you see everything, the cuffs, the crowns, everything. It's really, it's just magical. It's so magical.
It is.
And then
It is.
women and men dress as gods and goddesses. That's traditional. It's to dress as the god or goddess of your choice. So it's like you're walking among the gods. It's real nice.
Yeah. Well, that's what I believe, that, you know, there are people like you and people like Mr. Sweet that definitely, you know, have powerful energy. Because I believe that there are gods and gods amongst us. I don't believe in a fairy in the sky that grants wishes. And, you know, so I know we have different belief systems, but I respect yours. But no, I do believe that you know, we all as a collective, you know, I've talked about this before, you know, create the weather, you know, we are all one with everything, you know, the plants, you know, I've even said before that the energy within us, which is spirit, soul, breath, voice, all the same meaning, is the same energy as the stars in the sky. So we're all fallen stars, you know, so that's what I believe. So
yeah, no, every man. It's Aleister Crowley wrote in the Book of the Law, one of the famous first lines is, "Every man and every woman is a star." So meaning, you know, we're made up of the same things that the stars are.
Yeah, I use the Aleister Crowley deck. I love it with Frida Harris.
The thought deck. Yeah,
it's Frida Harris is the artist, and
right, Lady Frida.
Yeah,
Harris.
and I think he was a Pisces too, Aleister Crowley. I think so.
Oh no,
he wasn't.
Just had his birthday yesterday.
He's a Libra.
Crowley Mass.
Oh, wow. Here, I think it was L. Ron Hubbard. How could I switch that around?
It's a big difference here.
Big difference. Well, alchemy, doesn't alchemy come from Aleister Crowley? And L. Ron Hubbard created...
Crazy.
No, cryogenics. Did you know that? Well, I wrote an article about this on my blog, but Scientology has Walt Disney, Rodney Dangerfield, and L. Ron Hubbard's heads frozen in the California mountains.
What?
Because they're going to put their heads on bodies.
Dangerfield?
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield.
Really?
He left his fortune to them, so they froze his head.
Wow.
And and it's like really weird because the town, like, people that know about it are like, don't drink the water, don't drink the water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that about Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
He was a Scientologist?
Yeah. I met
that.
him once too. He
I
was
would've
sloppy
never
drunk,
guessed.
hanging all over me, and I kept saying, "Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?" No, there's a harassment suit. Too bad his head I can only get to. So so we got Halloween coming up, and today's Friday the 13th. Are you going to do anything tonight, or I know you're burning some stuff for me to, like, once again empower my quest.
Your lawsuit, yeah. I mean, I did win a court and a divine protection for that. But
I already won. The FBI is on it, so I already won. Now it's just like technicalities. But they're really pissed off with me that I went above their heads. That's why I said I need a penis hat. I went above the waist.
I got that.
Yeah.
Don't wear it to court. I'm doing I have a love candle going.
Oh, thank you. I need some love. This is why I call you. I need love. I'd call Tony, but I know he's a busy man.
And I have a road opener going, a road opener candle going. So Ganesha, you know.
Oh, good.
Ganesha.
Yeah. That's the elephant, right? Ganesha?
Yeah.
that was always my favorite.
He's also a god of writers. He loved writing so much, or was so compelled to write, that he broke off one of his tusks to use as a pen when he didn't have a pen.
Oh, wow.
Ganesha, yeah.
Wow.
So he helps with my writing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, elephants are my favorite. I have more elephant pictures in my house than anything. I love elephants. I've been to elephant sanctuaries and I've gone on safaris, and the elephants, they come right up. Did you know they'll remember you even,
Wow.
Yeah.
Years later?
Years later, yeah.
Wow.
The last time I went on safari, I looked at the elephant. I'm like, oh, he looks sick. But the elephants are, they're becoming endangered species, I think. I mean, my psychic impression is that, people don't respect them. And that's a matriarch, that the elephants are a matriarch.
Right.
Yeah, they're ruled by the female. And I think that, bulls, the males or the bulls, from what I recall, they don't have many in the herd because they're so aggressive, and they... But yeah.
Well, yeah. So Ganesha, half elephant, half boy, half elephant.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Half
just
boy,
the
half
head.
elephant.
Yeah, because somebody lopped off his head, and his mom stuck an elephant head on him.
Oh wow. I was talking to somebody, and she says it's strange how when we're kids, how we always dress up what we're going to be in life. And she said, I was a princess, and her name is the princess, and she was naming off all her costumes. And then she says, what did you always dress up as a kid? And I said, a man. I always dress up as a man. I said, I like the facial hair. I was unrecognizable. And she's like, oh. She didn't know what to say after that.
Something you want to tell us, Robin? Yeah.
No, but actually, when I was a kid, I dressed like a boy. My hair was short. I always wore boy clothes. I had an older foster brother. I was in a foster home where I had 3 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, and 1 dress for like a year. And in the 7th grade, I had to take the hems down off of my pants. And you know how they're like wrinkled all the way down. And I still had high waters. And so once again, it was convenient to grab men's clothes and put on a men's out. Nobody recognized me. I loved it. But yeah, I was definitely a tomboy. Everybody thought I was a boy. For a long time.
If I were a boy.
What did you dress up as, Mr. Sweet? Were you ever a girl?
No, I never actually dressed up as a girl. When I was a kid, just traditional stuff, because my mom would always...
Like Batman, Spider-Man, traditional stuff like that.
You know, bloody, vampire, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I've never done the vampire stuff.
You know what?
What?
I dressed as a witch one year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, with green face and everything.
Oh, cool.
And a putty nose, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess that my friend's right when she was saying that we, as kids, we dress up as what we aspire to be. But I'm definitely a woman, but when I was a
think she
kid,
froze again.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a man until I found out I couldn't. And I was like, but you said I could be whatever I want.
I want to be.
Yes. I'm going to ask her to log in again. Dial up. Okay, let's hope that she joins the show again. So we only have a few more moments, hopefully.
Yeah, we have about 8 minutes.
Hopefully. Okay. Dang.
Dang, the bing a dong, boom, ding, boom, boom. Oh.
So here we go.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm dressed up. Will and I are talking about because he's from Brazil, and so he wants to go down to the West Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I've never done that.
You have never? It's
never done that.
Crazy. Like 500,000 people.
I watched it on TV.
Yeah, it's about 500,000 people.
But see, you've heard me before. I can't stand crowds.
I don't like crowds either,
and I just can't stand the energy and the contagion.
I'll go because he wants to go just to experience it. I haven't been for years. I really don't care to go, but I hope, I'm like, let's go early and then leave. But he'll probably want to stay because he's younger. And all right, here we go.
Yeah.
She's
Hello.
connecting again. Hello, darling.
Liz. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I wanted to ask her because there's a lot of articles. Liz. We have to hear the...
We represent the lollipop.
Yeah. Once again, the voice. We need your voice. So, Liz...
There we go.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of articles that the world's ending on Sunday. What are your thoughts behind that? You
I
think we'll be-
wish.
I know. Sometimes I wish too. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't know why they're saying that. I have no idea. The most explosive transits we had just prior to the shooting in Las Vegas. Yeah, they're always saying the world's gonna end, and it doesn't.
Well, some people it does, but yeah, I mean it's terrible. But
Yeah. So no, I don't. There's nothing horrific going
Scheduled?
on right now. Nothing that I'm concerned
astrologically,
about.
and you talked about you talked about December 28th. I predicted that gold is going to go flat on that day.
Really?
Yeah, I got it back going with Brainstorm, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won the bet that California was going to go dirt cheap by next year. He's like, nah, not in 10 years. And then I'm like, yeah, I won the bet. It's just terrible that, it had to happen. I had nothing to do with it other than I wanted to win the bet, put energy to it. So,
Well, things are pretty volatile still, in the world. But
from the solar eclipse or just in
yeah,
general?
from the solar eclipse and from the Jupiter-Uranus opposition that happened at the end of last month. At the end of
And those planets take forever to go out of.
Well, no, Jupiter finally moved. Jupiter moves more quickly than Uranus does. And it finally moved into Scorpio on Tuesday. So that means like loads of sexual energy for the next, 15 months or so.
Oh,
So,
wow. So maybe
I'm
that's why
digging that,
everything's coming out now. But also, like I said, the Scorpio women that I know are fabulous. I mean, very creative, very imaginative, very, very empathic and psychic also. I mean, you have two sides to every sign, basically. But the Scorpio women that I know are good. And, the Scorpio
Super
men...
intelligent. It's a very, very intelligent sign and very astute, like good lawyers. I'm sorry. But good lawyers.
Oh, that's okay.
And,
No,
they
I'm not
have great
offended.
brains.
I'm not offended.
Yeah. I mean, the higher levels of Scorpio are quite beautiful. Good healers, good shamans. Very.
Well,
very,
Bill,
very
Bill
perceptive.
Gates is a Scorpio.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, his face doesn't look it. So he's not rising. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I've had a lot of good Scorpio friends in my life.
Yeah, but then I have this Scorpio cousin. Oh my gosh, I had to block him a couple months ago. You're blocked.
Yeah, the vengeful thing,
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. But I used to call him when I needed a good talking to because he would like slap me around verbally and like. Instead of calling you for crying and tears, he would just like, get real. It is what it is. She doesn't want to be around you. Get it straight. So whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about it on the air, but I pointed something out with love, and I did explain to a few friends, and they're like, but what you said was very loving and was to help him and assist him. And it was not mean at all, but he took defensive, with me. And just like that Scorpio tongue, man, they can really hurt you with that tongue.
Oh, yeah.
They can go after
drop
you.
blood, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
And so I did.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be no offense to my Scorpio friends, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with one. But I think they make awesome friends. Yeah. They're so funny too, sometimes, some of them. Yeah.
No. I think Scorpios are kind of very serious from what I haven't come across funny ones. But like I said, that's the men. They're serious right away. I'm like, okay, a little bit too much serious for me. Just met ya. But no, my Scorpio girlfriends, I mean, it's amazing. You know, they're big channelers.
Oh, really? Yeah. Very psychic. Yeah.
But you said that December 28th that's my daughter's boyfriend's birthday, come to find out. And so you said that's going to be a really harsh day for a certain signs?
Really? Did I say that?
Yeah, you said God. December 28th is going to be prepared, stay in bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I said that? Oh, my goodness. I wonder what I was looking at. Yeah, I'm like Nostradamus. I like zone out into mundane astrology charts and then say these things. And now I can't, I don't remember.
I know. No, it's totally cool. I went to a housewarming party a few months ago, and this girl, I knew who she was, of course. And she walked in and she's like, oh my gosh, you changed my life. You did a reading for me and you were so right. And this was right. This was right. This was right. Do you remember? I'm like, oh, well, I kind of have to be in the zone. So, no, I don't remember, but I'm glad. And it was like, oh my gosh. So here we go again. So I guess the next time we have her on, we only have a few minutes to wrap the show. So please call back so I can say goodbye.
Yes.
Please.
She always catch her when she smiles. That's a good thing.
So, yes.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Yeah. She's always smiling. I love my friend Liz. She's great.
She's a nice lady.
Yeah.
She's a lady. Oh,
a woman.
She's a lady.
I didn't turn out to be a man.
That we know of.
I didn't know the difference. I was a fast runner. I used to have the
Really?
nickname Deer. Oh my gosh, I used to
A female
outrun
deer?
everybody. Yeah. No, yeah, deer, female deer. And I really thought that I was like the same as everybody. And then I still do. But I'm just saying, the world didn't imprint on me. Because like I said, I didn't have all that media brainwashing. And I ran really, really fast. They used to have May Day, May 1st,
right.
May Day. And so I ran really, really fast, and I came in second. And the teacher, I think second, it could have been third. I could have been tied with third. But anyway, the teacher came up and she's like, oh my gosh, you did great. And I said, but I didn't win, Here I have this nickname, Deer. And she's like, but you did great for a girl. And I was like, what? What does that have to do with anything,
A girl?
A girl? I did great for a girl. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess that's the end of the show. I want to say thank you, Liz. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you. Ooh, thank you, Mr. Tony Sweet. I'll see you next week.
I'll be here.
I'll be
same
taking
time.
calls next week. Give me a holler then. Bye for now.
Chic.com has worldwide users instant messaging, reading blogs, romance stories, posting pictures, getting recipes, playing games, buying, selling, psychic readings, reviewing, and much more. Interact at psy-chic.com.
Psychic Robin Zodiac has talent of ESP abilities to predict your future in accurate detail. Robin Zodiac has authored many advised books, and you can interact at psy-chic.com. Clients call Robin at 877-924-4783 for a $3 a minute reading.